never quite tell what's going to happen in this type of job, you know.
But, you know, we're quality police and we always do the best job we can.
We've got a reported rave at Biscuit Factory in Leith. Let's do this.
Quality police.
Stay on that backup. Roger that.
Just testing out my lights. Nah, no camera pulse.
Welcome back to the Back2Back podcast with myself, Nick Checketts.
And Paddy Rego.
We're back for episode 5 in the Biscuit Factory.
Yeah.
How you been, my man?
I'm not too bad. How have you been keeping?
Good. I've been
up to?
I've been still producing, trying to get these tunes ready under my alias Dubs96.
Nice.
Any
labels sending them out?
Yeah, I had a wee bite last night actually. Wanted to sign a 3-track EP.
Nice. When will we expect to see them?
So I don't know, maybe I'll need to speak to my management and see when I can get a release schedule for that sorted. But no, good positive signs.
Nice.
What about yourself?
Just finished off wrapping up an EP with Chris. So sending it off to stores.
Who's Chris?
Chris Thomas, Edinburgh's new biggest rapper.
So what kind of stuff's he making?
We've just been making a couple of hip hop tracks. We've been working with other artists as well. So hopefully we'll be hearing some of that soon. We'll definitely be hearing some of that soon.
So you're doing the producing for that?
I'm producing and recording it all. And then the rappers are doing the rapping, obviously.
So what kind of vibe then with the...
A bit different stuff. We're doing some chilled stuff and then some kind of like drill stuff as well. Just really testing out the water with all these different kind of genres within hip hop.
Yeah, because that's not really going on in...
No, there's not really much of a scene in Edinburgh, so to say. But hopefully we'll bring it there.
Yeah, so also we've got a new project that's coming under the Back2Back podcast team, which is...
we're filming in May. Looking forward to it.
May the 15th. We've got a sort of a day in the sun, we're going to call it, and it's going to feature...
It's like a wide variety of different DJs, up and coming, some already established DJs, but it's going to be a bit more like a different setup to how we usually do things. It's going to be snappy interviews, shorter.
Beer garden vibes.
Beer garden, yeah. Everyone having a good time, all the guests in the background. But we'll be sharing the news of that very soon.
Yeah, so a big lineup coming up for that. Yeah. And we're here today for another special reason.
Yes, the man who broke the resident advisor site. Frazi.er.
Thanks.
How you doing, mate?
I'm all good, man. Plodding away.
Have you seen your custom bottle?
I know, I did see that actually. It's nice, man.
So we went crack open or what?
Yeah, I'll get these.
Go for it.
I'll just take a wee measure. A wee measure, Nick. Fucking hell.
Here you go.
Sorted.
We start all the...
Nice one, mate.
There's more of that where that came from. So anyway, how you doing, my man?
Aye, all good. Just trying to keep busy until obviously we can get back into the clubs. Just trying to stay focused on making new music and just planning ahead so we're ready to go.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, mate.
So we like to start by asking all our guests to sort of go back to the start and talk to us about, you know, when you first sort of came across electronic music, like what age were you? What was kind of the moment that said, I want to get involved in this?
It was probably 16, 17. It was one of my best mates, Nick, his older brother and his pals were all going to techno nights. They were probably like, some of them were 5, 6 years older than us, so they were telling us about the parties they'd been to and what it was all about. But I mean, this even back, I'm saying back then, it was...
At what age were you when this was kind of
I would have been 16, 17, so 10 years ago. And obviously Instagram wasn't even really kind of about, I don't even know if it was about then, I don't think it was. So it was just all kind of word of mouth and just kind of, techno music was still very underground then. Yeah. Like it wasn't like widely available the way it is now. And so you're just hearing these stories, and then I didn't actually manage to get to go to one, like a proper techno night, until I was 18.
Who was it? Who was playing?
It was the week after mine and my best mate's 18th birthdays. It was Electric Frog at SWG3.
All right, okay.
And one of our older pals had said, "I'll take you for kind of turning 18." And we went to it. It was in SWG3 before they had the galvanizer, the downstairs warehouse. So it was still like it was very raw, man. Do you know what I mean? It was quite fresh. And it was Slam, Adam Bear, Surgeon Live. I can't even remember who else was playing. And then I can remember there was a boy we knew at the time. He told us at the time he had these 2 CB tablets. And we were like, fucking never even heard of that. Never heard of them. He's like, they're quite trippy. You'll have a good laugh on them.
Aye.
I was like, fuck it, he's 6. So we went in the SWG3. Obviously, it was brilliant, man. But when we were 18 at the time, we felt so young. Like there was nobody really even under 25 there. Like it was people like it was like an over 30 club, man.
Was techno wasn't really a thing, but
nah, it was weird. It was nobody our age there at all. And we were in the upstairs warehouse. I think Slam played first, and then Adam Bear came on. And then I can remember I was just like, fuck it, we take one of these 2 CB tabs. I hadn't even heard them at the time, do you know what I mean? Didn't know what they were. Yeah. It was a big laugh. So we took one, and then we're fucking, it must have been an hours went by. I was at my mate Kez, how you feeling, alright? And he was like, I'm sound, mate, all good. And I was like, fuck it, we'll take the other one.
It's a lot of it, you know, we'll see what happens.
And then probably 20 minutes after that, we were like, fucking hell, what's going on here? But it was a good laugh though, do you know what I mean? It wasn't too funny, but just the experience of walking into like a proper full-blown techno club. Like, it seemed like how you'd imagine an illegal rave to be. Like,
when you're that like, age as well, you're just like, you're blown away.
So overwhelmed.
Never really seen any, apart from obviously maybe like Human Traffic and maybe the odd clubbing films and stuff. You'd maybe seen stuff like that, but apart from that, I'd never seen any videos really in Scotland to what it was like to go to like a warehouse party. And then it was amazing, man. We just knew at the time, it was like, me and my mate were just like, this is
what we want to do.
We'd been listening to quite a lot of techno before that. But it
what were we listening to back then, techno-wise?
I'm trying to think. Drum Code at the time was obviously massive. I know it still is massive, but it wasn't as commercial as what it was now. And then even just the likes of Slam's tracks. Gary Beck was just kind of getting big at the time as well, so a lot of Gary Beck's tracks.
Gary Beck's Scottish as well, isn't he?
He's actually from Paisley, just outside Glasgow.
Oh, really?
And then, who else was listening? Even like some of Jamie Jones's stuff at the time, like Hungry for the Power just came out at the time. But when I turning 18 though, like, everything moved so fast, like, so obviously that was my first proper clubbing experience. Ended up going to Ibiza for 3 days and ended up staying for 18 weeks.
So were you
extended stay?
Were you in Motherwell at the time?
I was in Motherwell, yeah. I was in Motherwell, so obviously there was no clubs.
Was there nothing going on there?
We had the mega bar, so we started doing we didn't start doing parties there until the year after that, but there was like, it was just house nights really, do you know what I mean? There wasn't really,
so there's no scene whatsoever,
there wasn't much in terms of techno. And then going to Ibiza was amazing, man. I can remember the first night, it was Carol Cox's night, his residency at Space, and just walking in, and it was just like, I don't know what the capacity of Space main room is, but it was just like, that first feeling of walking in, and the sound system in there compared to SWG3 was totally different. Though obviously it's more of a commercial club, but I just knew then, I was just like, fucking hell, man, what is this, man? This is amazing.
When did you? Was this before you were thinking about starting DJing?
This was probably before. I can't remember when. It's actually a wee bit of a blur to buying. Cause I bought a set of electric decks. I'm pretty sure it was after I came back from Ibiza. So it was all in that year, but it was later on in that time.
How many of those 2 CB did you take?
Nah, well, to be fair, it was quite a mad year, man. I mean, that was the years. Obviously, house parties were pretty wild at the time.
And Ibiza, so what? Like, you said you went over there for a holiday and then you ended up staying. Like, were you working out there? Or?
So I was selling club tickets for a party my mate worked for, and then there was boat parties as well. We used to sell tickets for, but to be honest, at the time, I'd just been sacked in Crew's clothing for not turning up to work. I just knew that, I didn't want to be really, there was nothing exciting happening back here, and I just I'd just broke up with a girl I was going out with at the time, and I was just like, fuck it, man, I'm going to enjoy myself. And my mum wasn't too happy, to be fair, but she was cool with it as well at the same time. But I did have savings at the time, but obviously they didn't last too long.
They go pretty quick, don't they?
Pretty quick, aye, but it was a great experience. Just because I was always hanging about with people older than me as well, you're kind of learning stuff you maybe wouldn't learn if it was just people your age. Like you're hanging about with people who've been clubbing for years. You're taking on their recommendations of who's a good artist to go and see. And obviously at the time, Carol Cox was that was when he was at his peak.
What year was this then? It's been like...
That would have been 9 years ago. 9 years ago that would have been, aye. So do you mean, see the difference in the last even 4 years, man? It's crazy, like, because obviously like Instagram wasn't about, so that was kind of part of the no camera policy at some of the events as well, and just trying to bring people back to the experiences I had, where just you're going in a club and it's just a DJ playing. Sometimes you don't even know who the DJ was at the time. You're turning up to line up and saying, who's that guy who's playing? Whereas now I think kids are maybe like, I only want to go and see such and such play because I've seen them on social media. So it's just bringing back the feelings of why you go clubbing.
The experience of it as well in general.
Just the experience. Like going clubbing itself is a full experience. It's escapism. It's like you don't want to be going there and just sitting on your phone all night and fuck. I don't know. Man. You want to go and enjoy it, listen to the music, leave the club feeling inspired. Like I felt in Scotland for a while there was most nights were like really lacking creativity, and if obviously there's no forward thinking ideas, then there's no inspiration for these new clubbers to actually leave the club with and feel like the first 2 years out for me going clubbing, just about every clubbing night I went to, I was leaving the club going like, fucking hell, man, that's amazing. I want more, or I want to. Do you know what I mean?
So you want other people to experience
that? I had that experience. You don't get it many times as a DJ, right? When you go into a club and you see someone playing and you just like, fuck me.
I know.
And I had that experience when the first year I went to Ibiza, and I was went to Amnesia on a Monday night to see Ricardo with Villalobos.
Was that at Cocoon at the time?
Yeah, and Cocoon. Warming up for him was Sonia Muner, and I was just like, I hadn't heard it before, and I was just like, this
it's a proper clubbing experience, isn't it, man?
Mental. And I was just like, walked away being like, fucking hell. And I've never really got that moment ever. Nah. And you know, if I was there for longer, I probably would have more moments. But like, you know, when you were out there, when did you play your first gig out there? Or what was the transition between?
It wasn't that year. I think it was the year after I played for the first time in Ibiza. So when I came back from Ibiza, we started a night in Motherwell, just at a local night in Megabar. It was good though, man. It became big in our kind of local town as well.
What, were you playing techno there, or?
It was techno, aye. It was kind of 128 to 130 BPM techno, obviously. It's much slower than what I'm playing now.
Where was the venue like?
Megabar. So Megabar was actually a super club. Like it had fucking CO2 cannons, good sound system, and it was actually, if you looked at it, if you put it in Europe and made it more industrial, it'd be a fucking great club. But obviously, it's in Motherwell.
Was it one of these old relics from the 90s?
Nah, it wasn't. It must have been newer than that. I reckon it must have been built probably the early 2000s. I don't know, man. It was still quite a good building. And after that year, after I came back from Ibiza, I started doing club nights. We went to Tresor in Berlin just after that, Awakenings Festival at the Gasholder. So do you know what I mean? You're taking in some of the best early clubbing experiences you could get at that age, man. So it was really inspiring. From
that transition and from seeing all these DJs play out, how did you get into it? Was it producing you done first, or was it learning to DJ?
It started off DJing just locally, and then for me it switched all to producing.
Right.
But it was all like, nobody taught me how to use it. I didn't even study it.
What were you producing on?
It was Ableton Live. Somebody gave me a copy of Ableton Live, but see if I could go back, I just wish I learned more inside out of Ableton. See, I don't know, man, it's the same as anything. You need to study, but I was always terrible at studying. I had no attention span. But with music, I could sit for it for 10 hours and time would go by. But I wasn't actually taught how to use it. I wasn't actually there was so much technical stuff that I was just completely skipping out because I was just wanting to make music.
Hear the sound.
just desperate to make music. And then so that was like, when would that have been? I would have been 19 at the time. Just got a first copy of Ableton, and then
someone gave you a copy.
Somebody gave me a fake copy, and then it was just it kept glitching, and then it wasn't really working.
I got a copy at an after party from Ejeka, And Richie, me, Ajeka and Richie Ahmad were all in my room after night vision actually, and we were playing. And everyone had a couple of drinks, you know.
Sometimes they're the best ones.
We started making tunes, and one of Richie Ahmed's friends was like up from Newcastle, this old guy. And we were recording him, and then Gary, who's a Jacob, you know, done something with a sample, and we were making tunes. And I was using Logic at the time, and Gary said, "Here, I've got a free download code of the last download code." So he gave me Ableton, and that's how I got it. And then I moved over from Logic.
Do you use Logic now?
No, I
no, sorry. You moved from
I
Logic
was
to
Logic, and I just found that Ableton was so much better. But
it's more complex, I think, as well, and even simple. I don't think on Logic you can make music and still play a sample or play like a hit at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just I just find it more complex, but it's like
I'm a Logic loyal.
Even just now, man. I've probably spent, don't know, 40 hours a week on Ableton minimum for the last 5 years, but I hadn't even watched a tutorial until lockdown there.
Do you use much hardware when you're producing?
I've stopped using all hardware, man. Just use it all inside the
software.
box. Get stuff like Roland Cloud do this like package where you can basically access any synthesizer or drum machine Roland have ever made, and it's just like, I don't know. I just found when I was using hardware, you're getting in, you're jamming about with stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds good, looks cool. It's good to have a physical touch, but then you've not recorded anything, and you just like you spent. So I find it's better for jamming live, but for actually.
And you'll tend to find as well, the majority of people that are listening to it are not going to be able to tell the difference between a bit of hardware and like the emulated sound or a bit of software.
No, that's it. And even like Sound Toys and stuff, they've like made all these analog VSTs where you can actually compress your tracks to sound as if it was made on a bit of hardware. But for me, it's just a case of getting the music out there, and it's good to mess about with hardware. I think I will study hardware more, but nowadays you genuinely don't need it, man. And I always say that to new producers who try and think, oh, that's me, I've got my studio, I've got my rolling drum machine, I've got this. And I'm like, right, cool, have you made anything? And it's like, no, I'm still just. Whereas if you actually spent the time maybe studying a couple of VSTs, worked out what sound you want to make, you could have probably made an EP in that time.
Yeah.
You've found out how to work your hardware.
The thing is, though, if you've got it up on the screen, you kind of get the basics of how it's going to work.
It's just quicker for editing as well. Like sometimes with hardware, you could be wanting to change it. You can change stuff a lot faster when it's in a VST.
Yeah.
You're more. You can even make a sequence on your MIDI channel and skip through different sounds that are within that synthesizer, and you can make it quicker. It's easier for changing the sequences if you wanted to scale up an octave and stuff. I don't know. It's more functional.
See with the producing, like when you obviously started, how experienced of a DJ were you when you started? Like how many gigs did you play? Because I felt, me personally, like obviously I've been a DJ for quite a while. Like I mentioned before, I used to warm up for a lot of big artists, and that kind of helped me shape my outlook as a DJ. And used to play like good shows in Edinburgh, and I think then going into producing, that helped me to kind of know about, right, I know what's
like intros and outros, and
well, just I know what's going to be a good. I was like, I know what's going to be good, because when I first started making tunes, I knew they weren't like the first couple of years. I knew they weren't good because I was used to, they weren't at the level.
Yeah. It's a harsh reality. I think when you're making music, because you've made it yourself, you think, this is fucking class, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But see, if you went in a club at an early stage of producing and you mixed into a track you loved, you'd be like, oh fuck.
I think sometimes it takes that mindset of stepping outside and being like, right, okay, this is what I want to hear, but what do the crowd want to hear when you're making a track? Or like what does somebody else want to hear?
I know, it's weird. Like even when I first started making tracks, and it sounds crazy, like I would make a track and I'd be happy with it, but I still wouldn't feel confident playing it. And then like Joseph Capriati, Richie Houghton and stuff were playing my music, and I was thinking, fuck, they're playing it, so it must be good enough. But sometimes I wouldn't feel confident enough playing my own music until I'd seen like big DJs playing it at festivals.
So how long were you producing until you got to the stage where you had likes of Richie Houghton and Joseph Capriati playing out your tracks?
It was actually all quite. I'll tell you a funny story actually. So the year after, after my second year in Ibiza, that's when I was really starting to I got a better grasp on how to make music, but I was still just using audio samples. I wasn't even writing in MIDI. I was just chopping stuff up, changing keys, and messing with sample packs. And I made a track, Layer Cake at the time. Within 3 months, I stayed in my wee studio flat at the time, wee 1-bedroom flat. And then I'd made the track and I sent it to a label in France, and they signed it up straight away.
Oh really?
And I didn't, at the time...
Was it just the one track?
It was an EP actually. It was an EP, 2 tracks. but this one track in particular, I didn't really know how promo campaigns worked at the time. So this label had like every big DJ in the world on the promo campaign.
Yeah.
So they would send it to them like a month before the release. And we were in Ibiza at the time, in Ibiza Club Room. And then I think it was the first day we got to Ibiza, so it was probably a fucking Ryanair flight, 7 o'clock in the morning. We'd been on it all day.
Pints and spoons.
Got into Ibiza, and then Joseph Caprati had only just started. There was maybe 4 tracks in, and I was like, that sounds like my track.
No way, man.
I never said anything, so I was like, I'm not going to say, fucking hell, that's my track, and just it's not my track, and made an absolute cunt of it. So I was standing, I was like, I kind of stopped dancing, because I was like, that's fucking my track. And I was like, how could Joseph Caprati possibly have my track? So I never said anything. I was just sitting, kind of dancing away, and just 2 of my mates just jumped in me, because obviously they knew the track.
Yeah.
And obviously the vocal came in, and I was like, it was just fucking weird. We were jumping about as if we fucking just won the World Cup, man. And then
was it getting a good reaction from the crowd?
The crowd was going mental, man. It was a good crowd.
That's standing eye.
And then,
that's me.
And I was like, fuck it. I can remember at the time. I was obviously fucking mad at it as well. But I can remember like getting my phone and going around the DJ booth to Caprati, and I think I'd put in my notes saying, "Layer Cake is my track." And I was like trying to show him it, and he was just see that way where he was just in the zone, and he probably thought I was just some peasant trying to request a tune or something like that.
Well, yeah.
So he was just kind of looking, and just I could tell he never even read what I said, and he was just like, "Cool, mate."
Aye, sound, mate.
And I was just like, I never got a chance to speak to him, but I mean, I think I was only 20 at the time. Or no, I would only just done 20 at the time.
And is this when you were producing under your actual name?
Just my real name, Frazi.er,
Right.
so it wasn't even before Frazi.er, but I mean, that for me, that was just that's probably still the most surreal experience I've had, and probably why I got so hooked to producing. Like,
Yeah.
I had like a full...
Chasing that feeling.
I had a full... like CDJ set up in my flat at the time as well. I just would never even go and touch the decks. Like, even before gigs, I would very rarely go and mix. I would just be obsessed with trying to make tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was mad. I don't know what it was. It was just like... I don't know what it was. I just had this... chasing that feeling. I don't know, it's just when you've made something, it seems more
Got a
more
personal
valuable.
touch to it, you know.
Aye, definitely.
Aye,
So
How many tracks did you release under your name, Frazi.er then?
I released a lot at the time. No, sorry, I didn't release a lot, but I released tracks looking back. I shouldn't have released it at the time. I was just kind of chasing, like...
You want something out there, right?
That's why they always say, people always say you look back at your music and go like, fuck, why did I put that out there? But at the end of the day, you're still learning your sound, you're learning how, you're still like, it takes time to find your sound. Like, even just now, I'm still finding my sound. Like, my sounds went from probably 128 BPM to the stuff I can't remember the last time I made a track under 140 BPM just now. Like, that's just the way, that's just, because I've been trying to
BPMs are going up, I've noticed.
It's because I've been trying to just, for ages, I was like kind of, not for ages, but the last 2 years, the sets I've been playing, and obviously getting a chance to play a lot in Berlin, Paris, other places in Germany and stuff, I've been playing a lot high energy sounds, and the stuff I was making, I noticed when I played it, it was like, I had to end up playing 3 tracks at the same time to try and get the energy up, because it was just missing that. People loved the tracks, don't get me wrong, like I was still happy with them, but it was missing an energy that I just couldn't work out how to create. And I was just, so my main focus now has just been kind of trying to make that kind of higher energy, kind of high intensity sound.
So why did you come to the point, like what was your thinking behind changing your name or going under an alias?
It got to the stage where I was like, I felt as if it was a natural progression. I'd released music at the time where sorry, not at the time, I'd released music prior to that, and I was thinking, that doesn't really represent my sound anymore. I felt as if I was getting a better idea of the kind of vision and the direction I wanted to take my sound. And then my sound was a kind of more European sound.
So did you think that because the reason you changed your name is because you'd released stuff under Frazi.er?
That was part of the reason, but I don't know, I just felt as if like I was getting to the stage where I just wanted a fresh start, to be honest. Like, it feels as if like I felt ready, like, right, I want to start a new alias. And then my nickname was always Fraz, and then in Ibiza, like Spanish people would call me fucking Frazi or Freezer or whatever. Do you mean? Nobody could say fucking Fraser, so I was like that. And one of my pals always called me Frazier, so I was like, I quite like Frazier.
I think I'm going to go with
I
Freezer.
thought it was class, I'm going to go with that. So at the time when I announced it, I never had the dot, it was just like Frazier, just all one word. And then I stupidly never thought that Fraser was a massive name in America. And then...
what with the Z?
Fraser, that's
Yeah.
how they spell Fraser,
That's
but they pronounce it Fraser. And then I can remember I was on, Adam Bear featured me in a Drum Code Radio, and he's like, I've got this track from Fraser. And then I was like, fuck's sake, this guy's just absolutely ruined my Eilish here. So the more I thought about it, I was like, Frazi, I was like, I'll add the dot. So that's probably about 3 years ago. So I did the dot, went to do a hashtag, and then realised the dot broke the hyperlink. And I was like, for fuck's sake. So I can't even hashtag Frazi, so Frazi with the dot. But I know, it was just a more serious approach, and I wanted to be seen. I think it's good to play under your own name. It's great for starting off, but I think when you really, I was just obsessed with being an artist. Like, I didn't want to be a DJ, I didn't want to be a producer. I wanted to be an overall artist. Like, I was obsessed with, like,
You're almost creating like an alter ego for
It's
yourself.
a brand,
essentially.
yeah.
Definitely. I was obsessed with the full thing about it. Do you know what I mean? I was, even when I go on to music events as well, like the attention to detail. That I don't know. I just like taking all my influences, the clubbing experience I'd had, my ideas, and just trying to bring it all into one. So I wanted to have like a solid, fresh start. So
Yeah, no, that's.
Would you say you like changed up completely? So obviously you transitioned from Fraser Stewart, your own name, to then Frazi.er. Did you?
I think when I started Frazi as well, like I was more like pushing towards getting on a bigger agency.
Yeah.
At the time, I was probably when I'd done my first like big press pack and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So it was more like a right. Let's do
And
this.
did you have management under your previous name?
No, I've not. Only just joined a manager, my management in August time there, because I was actually planning to move to Amsterdam in June this year, just to try and push stuff in Europe. My manager's based in Belgium. He's got a lot of good contacts, and it's like things in Scotland were going great as well. And I was thinking I really need to try and get my name bigger in Europe. Like, I was in a situation where I was getting booked to play in Germany, like Paris and stuff like that, quite a lot. But like the fees, because there's so much talent in Germany,
Yeah.
they don't pay a lot of money for international guests. And I was in that middle ground where they could get a local act to go and play for €200, and he would do a great job. Whereas my agent was obviously requesting, not much more than that, but for Europe we always played less. But the time he paid the agency fee, flights, hotel, and the artist fee, I was working out a grand dearer than
And
these
the rider
local
on
DJs.
top of that.
So it got to the stage where I was actually, I don't know, like festivals grew really big, and then there was just like a local element. There was no like middle market, and that's probably why the likes of like Gary Beck, Hans Buffma, they're great Scottish DJs, and they've all played like fucking Berghain, everything.
Yeah.
And then like everything just kind of changed. But I think it was because festivals just grew so fast that there was no like middle ground anymore, and people found themselves in a kind of unusual section really in their kind of career. But I was kind of falling into that kind of category in Europe.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to try and push stuff. So I was thinking if I stayed in Amsterdam, I could try and get a residency there.
Do you think that's something you may be doing in the future?
I think so. I've been thinking about it, man. So maybe I would like to do it for 6 months or even 4 or 5 months, just for the experience,
Yeah.
Some
the
contacts.
networking. Just it's easier to travel as well. Do you know what I mean? You can fly, you can get the train to anywhere in Europe within 2 hours. I would happily get the train to even France from Amsterdam. Do you know what I mean? Just sit on my laptop for 5 hours and work in music,
Yeah.
not going through hotel security.
And see, going back to you know, getting stuff signed by labels, you know, under your previous name, you know, were you building up contacts with labels, and you knew that? Did you have any labels you wanted in mind when you went to your new alias, Frazi?
Aye, there was. So I think at the time, the first release under Frazi.er, I think, was on Sleaze Records, which is Hans Buffma's label. It was a good label at the time. Still is a great label, but they were really big in Germany and stuff as well. And then it was at the time where I was in contact with Panpot, so I was like really trying to get on Second State.
Right.
Yeah.
I got to know, I think the first time I met them was when I was still playing under my,
Yeah, because I think I remember seeing stuff for you. And
I
then,
was still playing under my own name at the time. And then I can remember I sent to CO, that's the older guy in Panpot, some music over, and they sent me I gave my USB at Sonar actually, and see that way I was just like, he's just going to patch it.
yeah.
About 2 weeks later I was on holiday and fucking I checked my email. I think it bounced into my junk email, and it was from TCO, from Panpot, and he was like, I really like your music, and he gave me great feedback. He was like, maybe if you work more on like, focus more on having your own sound, don't try and push anything too much. And to be honest, that's something I've always tried to do. I've always tried to push a sound that's maybe not as popular or not as widely listened to, but it's like, I think that's more valuable. Like, see if you make something that you...
Oh, without a doubt.
It's like, I don't know, when people... I don't know, for example, I could go and make a Detroit track in a day, and I know for a fact everybody would like it. Like, everybody dances
It's not a reflection of who you are.
I'm trying to make raw sounds that maybe 20 out of 100 people could absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Whereas if I made something more commercial, 80 people would like it. I would still rather the 20 people absolutely loved it than 80 people thought, that's good.
No,
so I'm trying to make a sound that's kind of a wee bit more complex, and it's just like a full, like most things I work on, it's like it's all different influences just pushed into one sound, and that's my kind of
Yeah,
focus.
I got a similar thing. You talk about, the guys from Pampot sending you the feedback. I got, with my alias, I got a message similar like that from the guys that run Fuse.
It really does help though, doesn't it, man?
Yeah, and I got that. Do you know what I sent? Because I not sent my stuff to a lot of people. I sent it to him, and he replied back saying, "I love your stuff. Like, I'll consider it for the label and stuff and everything." And I was just like, "That's amazing. Guys like that are liking it." And he's saying it's different, which is
definitely
where I want to go down. And then did you want to kind of do you heavily want to get on the label?
I couldn't wait to get home from my holiday at the time, man. I was in Cancun with my girlfriend, and I was like, I can't wait to go home again in the fucking studio, man.
How long did it take? Did you sign with them?
I know I did eventually sign.
Yeah.
So my first big track, that was just after I launched Frazi.er, was Blind Spot. I don't know if you can remember that one. Blind Spot was the kind of Detroit one. That was my first big track. That was on Panpot's label, and that was 4 or 5 years ago now. But that was like a big step forward. But then I can remember for like 6 months I kept saying like, I'm going to keep making Detroit stuff, and then I was very influenced by like Robert Hood, the Implant stuff. I loved like Ryan at the time as well. Like just proper. It interested me as well that they created like a full scene like out of their own sound. And then I can remember I was forcing out the same tracks a wee bit at the time, and then I thought, nah, I can't do that, man. I need to try and make something fresh. And then I've been through, it's been a proper roller coaster, man. You know yourself.
Yeah.
You go through stages where you think, I want to try and make this sound, I want to make this track, I want to make this. But then, I don't know, man, sometimes...
Is that something you ever feel like, do you ever feel like you're in a position where you're having to kind of force something?
I've been in that position quite a lot. Like, for instance, at the time, when I first started, I can't remember if I was still under Frazi.er, I was really close to getting signed to Drum Code at the time. Yeah. And then I can remember I'd done a collaboration with Redosa, Invasion. Okay. And I'd sent it to, it was festival season, so I sent it to like Panpot, Amoy Lenz, Carol Cox, Adam Bear, Sam Paganini and stuff, Joseph Capriati. They played music quite a lot of the time. And I can remember I sent it to Adam Bear first as a demo, because I thought he's going to like this. Yeah. And he never replied until 5 weeks later. Fuck. But
suspense.
Within that period, Carol Cox had replied saying, it was just a promo I sent him, it wasn't a demo. Yeah. He said, I want to take these 2 tracks for Intech, his label. No way. And I was like, fucking hell, that's amazing, man.
What tracks were they?
Invasion and then Rotate it was at the time.
Right.
And I was like, this is amazing, man. It's like, you can't, like, Carol Cox is wanting your music, so I was like, of course, definitely. The week later, Adam Bear fucking emailed saying, I'll take Invasion for the Drum Code A-side club, and I was like, that. I can remember that.
What did you say? What did you say to him?
I just emailed him, said, look, I didn't think you were interested. That was kind of 5 weeks ago. But then again, 5 weeks isn't really that long in terms of a demo. Like,
did you keep contact with him? Have you been sending him stuff?
I'm still speaking. I wouldn't. And my direction's probably changed now. But I can remember Adam Bear was just like, he was raging, man.
Was he?
He couldn't. I think it was because he wanted it, and I'd already as I said to him, look, I've just signed that Wintech, and then he was just kind of. I was a wee bit funny about it, man, and then. But in hindsight, what I should have done was I should have went back to Carol Cox or even his manager, John Rundell at the time, and said, look, I don't think Invasion works for this EP anymore, we'll make you something fresh. And I should have gave Adam Bear Invasion and released both of them.
It's a learning curve though, I suppose,
And that's what I mean, at the time it was a massive learning curve because I would have signed to Drum Code at like 22, so that would have been like...
I mean, that's mental.
I mean, Drum Codes went in a complete direction. I'm actually listening to the Drum Code stuff for the early 2000s now, like the kind of old school stuff, but... would have been a great achievement at the time though. So. And
when did the gigs start coming in terms of like when you had releases out? When did you first start seeing getting booked right? Because as a DJ you get certain gigs and you start getting the bookings like right, that's a gig that I'm fucking.
I think it was after my first second state release on Blind Spot. Obviously we had like Amoy Lenz playing in Glasgow and stuff. We had a lot of good parties in Scotland, and then I think it got to the stage where I can't remember where the first gigs were always like Berlin, Paris, Vienna, and then I don't know, man. It happened quite naturally. Like I wasn't really thinking like I want to start playing in Europe. It was just at the time I had a really good agent, Teresa, and then she was pushing my sound a lot. And see, to be fair, in terms of what I'd produced, and for my age, like it was quite a big deal to be playing in Berlin at like the age of like 22 and stuff. And then that's probably what made me who I am today, because I was getting put in circumstances where I was like going and playing a 4-hour set in Berlin. In Scotland, you don't really, at that time, you're warming up for like 1 hour before like the headliner act and stuff. So I can remember my first big gig in Berlin was Sisyphus, and then it was like you're playing first in the main room. I was like, right, cool. Is your set times 1 to 4 in the morning? Yeah. And I was like, fucking hell, that's a good opening time. And then I can remember going to the club. The guy took us in, and then it was like a scene out of fucking Mad Max. It was like a blown up car, like sitting at the front entrance. And it was like an underground version of DC-10. It was like really cool. It was like some areas were like fucking as if it was like sand on the floor. And then the guy was like, "Oh, you love it in here." The guy was hilarious. He pressed a button, and they had like this big flamethrower. It was like this metal flamethrower, right? He pressed a button, and obviously ignited a spark, and this big flamethrower just went right down the middle, and he was just pure laughing. And I was like, this guy's mental, man. And then he was like, "I'll take you into the main room." And I was looking, I was like, "This is fucking minty, man." It was like a proper warehouse, but I didn't expect that because it was quite a kind of run-down looking area. But it was like, I think because in summer they do like 24-hour parties and stuff. Yeah. Oh shit. So this was the Saturday. I think the club's open for 24 hours, so I think there was still people in at the door they'd been in for last night. Fuck's sake. And then gone in the main room and I was opening it. Within 2 tracks, I was just like, this is fucking electric, man. It was like nobody was speaking to each other, just like. Even people just dancing down the front, just trance, like proper energy, man.
So take it was quite busy when you initially arrived then?
The club was busy, but I was the first in the main room.
Right, okay.
And then at 1 o'clock, the main doors opening, and then people were just flooding
in. Yeah.
People were flooding in. And then after 2 or 3 tracks, I was like, I'm going to need to get the BPM up here a bit, man. I started off at like 130 BPM, thinking this will maybe take an hour or 2 to get warmed up. So I was playing for 3 hours I was playing, 1 till 4. And then it ended up being the best set I'd ever played. It was like, this is fucking amazing. But Sisyphus, they don't announce the lineup. It's just like people only go for the party because it's an underground party, no camera policy. It's just like you're guaranteed a good night.
I love that moment as a DJ when, like you talked about it there, when you're playing and you know it gets fucking rammed, right? And you just I'm taking it up there. Because you read the room. You're just like, as a DJ, for me personally, I love playing. That's why I like doing the warm-up sets, because like when you played the really busy or sold out nights, you'd have like the crowd and the palm of your hands. And I always, as a DJ, I always want to have that level to go up, always. And for me, it creates that tension on the dance floor. So they know you've got a level to go up. You can bring it up, you can take it down.
You're in control.
Definitely. That's what I liked about that as well, because I was the first person in the club, and then within 20 minutes, the club was maybe 400-500 people in it. And then by 1 hour in, it was like 800 people in it. And I was just like, fucking, it was amazing, man. So I started off 130 BPM expecting maybe just to be playing that for like at least an hour. Yeah. Within maybe half an hour, I was up at 136 BPM. Fuck. But the manager in the club was like, don't hold back, you can go all out here. And I was thinking, that was weird for him to say that when there's obviously clearly nobody standing in front of me. Yeah. And then I can remember after it, my mate Hutchie, he's a proper purist. And I can remember saying to him, I said, mate, that was fucking unreal, man. I was like, I wish you were there to see that. And I was like, I'm raging as well, because people are coming up after my set and speaking to me in German. And I was like, Scotland.
So did you just go on your own then?
I just went on my own. My agent was in the crowd as well. She's from Berlin, so she was in there. And then I don't know why, she's thinking back, I don't know why I never took, because I always take, at least one of my pals normally comes to any big gig. Yeah. I don't know why at the time nobody came, but I think it was because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it was going to be a pure good night.
You don't know. And with the agent, like, when did that come about? When did you say, right, I need an agent, or did she get in contact with you, or I think what are the benefits?
Initially, I think I contacted them, just saying, look, I've got a track coming out on this label. I've playing a lot of shows in Scotland just now. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of looking to start pushing stuff, and then they signed me up straight away at the time. They were based in London, but my agent was from Berlin. And then that just really helped push the boundaries, because I didn't expect to be playing Europe like till another 2 years or something. Do you know what I mean? I didn't expect it to be happening that quick. So I think Sisyphus was the turning point for me, realising like, fuck, after that set I felt comfortable to play pretty much any type of set.
Yeah.
Because you know for a fact when you're going to Berlin and you're playing a 3-hour set, you know for a fact people in that crowd know their music, they know their techno, and they're going to be. I felt as if they were going to be judging every transition and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I don't know why I felt quite relaxed, man. I probably felt more relaxed back then than I do even doing public speaking like just now. It's crazy, but it was amazing, man. And I can remember I said to my mate Hutchie, I was like, I'm a wee bit gutted that nobody in the crowd obviously knows who I am, because it wasn't as if like we've got Frazi.er playing, we've got such and such playing. There was no promo for the artists that were playing. It was just you turn up and playing. Did you have anyone at the end asking who you were? And like, so this is what I was going to tell you next. So I was people come up and speak to me in German, and I was like, I'm Scotland. He's like, what? I was like, I'm from Scotland.
Scotland, you know.
So I don't think many like foreign DJs playing Sisyphus, because it is like every DJ gets €330. So I actually probably ran a loss to play it, but I wasn't caring. I was happy to play it. And then doesn't matter. I think Richie Houghton played it like 8 years ago. So he probably gets 20 grand a gig, but he played it for €330. You know what I mean?
It's a slight cut.
But I think that's quite cool as well, though. It's like it shows that it's like an underground club that kind of drops the ego side, and it's just like just going to enjoy yourself. So in the that was the Saturday into the Sunday, and then in the Monday lunchtime, my agent sent me a WhatsApp screenshot. She was like, an offer's just came in for Singapore. What? And I was like, that right? How's that came about? Turns out the girl who turns out to be one of the biggest promoters in Asia was in the crowd that night.
No way, man.
I swear, right? So she was from Singapore, and her and her boyfriend happened to be in this club in Berlin, where like obviously they didn't know who was playing, but I think in like say there was like maybe steel pills like that. I think there was like A4 bits of paper that said set times.
Yeah.
So she knew that it was me or somebody else that was playing, I think, and then she managed to track. Well, she worked out who my name was on Facebook. And then, and the Monday morning get booked to go and play in Singapore. And then from that gig in Singapore, because it's like 13 hours away, like...
So like...
We built a full tour around it, and then that was the first Asia tour. I can't remember when...
And what was that? I mean, what was that? Yeah, I've been to Singapore once.
Have you?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It was good. I was younger at the time, and we were coming back from Australia, and we stopped in Singapore for a bit. Seem to remember I got in trouble from the hotel. They had this. It was like Christmas time. And they had this Wendy house that was made of fucking chocolate.
Did you start eating it?
I just started eating it. But yeah. So what was that? What was Singapore like?
So this club in Singapore is like. It turns out it's the most underground club in Singapore, but
is there much of a scene in Singapore?
Nah, well, Singapore's like it's like a proper big financial district. Do you know what I mean? It's like like HSBC, the main headquarters in Singapore. Like it's like proper, like really high end modern architecture, and then like it's a kind of development hub as well. Like it's a really like forward thinking place. So there's no really like an underground scene as such. But this wee club was like the sub club of Asia, basically, man. It was like a proper wee community. You go in and it was like the DJ plays in a cage. They never put stickers over your phone, but there was a no camera policy on the dance floor as well, which was cool for somewhere in Asia. And it was amazing. I ended up being a Frazi.er all night long, so I played 5 hours or 6 hours. It was a great night, man. And then in that first tour, I played. Where else did I play? I played in Bangkok. Where else did I play actually, man? Bangkok, Vietnam, somewhere else. I ended up doing 2 Asia tours. I've done one after as well. So the two of them are a bit.
And these gigs, like as well as the one in Berlin and that, were you partying? Were you drinking?
You got any funny stories for us?
So the second
to German afters and that,
The second tour in Asia was probably a funner one. So I was playing. So it worked out. The flights were always going to Singapore, like the direct flights, but the gig in Singapore happened to be at the end of the tour.
Right.
So we'd flew to Singapore, and then I think we went to Tokyo first. But the last gig this tour was in Singapore. So we'd been to Tokyo, Vietnam. Where else was the other gig, man? Kuala Lumpur, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Aye. And then we ended up, the last gig was in headquarters in Singapore.
Aye.
And I can remember after my set, so this was on the Saturday night, we were flying home midnight on the Sunday. A guy came up to me. He was at the first gig I played the year before, and like, it was all the same people. There was like, I ended up having like a wee kind of fan base over there, man. It was class.
Some groupies.
But they liked their music as well, do you know what I mean? So it was like crazy to have like this big financial district. You're walking along, there's like Louis Vuitton shops floating in.
They love it. They've got a lot of money there as well.
There's like Louis Vuitton shop floating in the marina, and then you go around the corner, it's just this wee like street of bars, and then this proper underground club above it. And I can remember after my set, guy was like, fucking loved that, man. That's the second time I've seen you play. He said that set's the best set I've heard in headquarters, because I think they go to that club every week.
Yeah.
Because it's different. Like Dax J and that's played at Matrix, man. They all played like a few weeks before the second time. And he was like, I've got a present for you. And he had like a bag. And I was like, look, mate, I've got a 14-hour flight tomorrow. I can't take a pill.
I love
of that,
those
man.
presents.
And then he was like, no, it's not a pill. It's not a pill. Just take it. And I was like, it's an acid tab. And I was thinking, it's a fucking death penalty in Singapore for taking drugs. Is it? And
Like what, a full-on like death penalty?
well, they say it's a death penalty, but
kill you.
I think it's one of the strictest drug laws that there is in probably the world, never mind
You don't
Asia.
want to be banged up abroad, you know.
That's what I was thinking at the time, but then we'd had such a good night. There was something just cool about Singapore as well. And I said, fuck it, we'll take it anyway. And then we had a 14-hour flight, like literally. So I think I finished playing at 4 in the morning. So I had a 14-hour flight in like 14 hours. And then...
So how was that?
So me and two of my mates were there, and then I can remember we got back to the apartment, and we said, fuck it, we'll cut into 3 strips. So I cut into 3 strips, and we all took it. And then we just started tripping balls, man. But the funniest thing was, we were like that, was like, there's no point sitting in a room, we may as well go a store and make the most of it.
What time was this at?
This was probably about 5 in the morning. And then we went to Stoke. We're just walking about, we're thinking, this is like a fucking... It was crazy, because Singapore's got some of the nicest buildings in the world.
Yeah.
And then we walked by like the marina, there's like fucking guys pulling up in big yachts and all that. There's us peasants walking about. And then it was like really warm in Singapore. It was like 40 degrees, but the sun wasn't even out, because it was like really fucking...
Just clammy heat.
Really clammy, aye. And then we walked by this like big fancy apartment block, and had the big bell to the pool. And we were like, fuck. Like, it wasn't me that suggested it, because I know for a fact it wasn't.
Was it?
One of my pals was like that. Fuck it, you want to jump in the pool? This big fancy apartment block, so like, fuck it, we'll jump in the pool. Obviously we had fucking all our clothes on, we like, just fucking stripped off into the buff. Big 3 years just took a big run and jump right in this big pool, but it's like, it wasn't even like a hotel, it was like fucking high-end apartment block.
Aye.
So I mean, it's like people were
Somebody's
probably paying like fucking £5,000 a month for these gaffs. And then it was still a wee bit dark at the time, the sun was just about to come up.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody was kicking about, that we thought anyway. So we ran, jumped in the pool. This guy's just fucking started shouting stuff like, I phoned the police. guy was a security guard for the apartment block.
Oh, fuck.
So I mean, this is how fancy this apartment block was. They had a fucking security guard. And then the guys came with a big fucking torch baton and he's shining. We were all fucking naked in the...
Tripping out.
We're naked in this swimming pool, fucking full of acid in Singapore. With a fucking 14-hour flight in a few hours.
It sounds like the script to The Hangover.
It was like the script of The Hangover. And the guys get a big torch baton and saying, I phoned the police. And we're thinking, fuck, this is when reality's kicking in, like, fucking the acid dunce just instantly wore off. And you're thinking, like, fuck.
It's not the
sorry, mate,
bullets
we're
now,
too warm. It's very warm. And then we just put our clothes on, fucking soaking wet, and just fucking ran away, I think, man. It was so ridiculous, man. But see, it's one of the experiences you're probably glad happened, because
Well, you'll never forget that one either, will you?
That could easily be us, couldn't it? But see, these shows as well, like, you know, you were doing these tours. How were you doing it in terms of, were you getting videos at the time for your social media? Like, what was your,
How
you know, were you
yourself?
capitalising on in terms of the sort of marketing side of it?
We did take a GoPro. We've got the full tour filmed, and I don't know why we've still not I think we did make it into some sort of video, but I think we'll just keep the footage archived just now, because we still obviously posted like videos from some of the shows, like travelling, even just kicking about in Tokyo, and that was cool, man.
And pools.
So we've had so we had content like that on socials, but we've got a lot of the GoPro footage archived, so maybe in a couple of years we'll make like a documentary or something. I don't know. Just it's cool to have, but it's honestly the two tours are two of the best trips we've done, man. It was the tour before it. We stayed in the PP Islands in between shows, and then I can remember it was like it was this strip, and it was just like folk playing with fire. It was like proper rowdy, but where we stayed, we had to get a boat round to it.
Yeah.
And then the last boat was at 6 in, but we ended up fucking too mad with it, and we missed the last boat home. So we managed to buy a bit of Thai stick off this wee guy down the beach. We're like, fuck it, we'll just enjoy the sunrise. We'll make the most of it. The sunrise hadn't happened actually. I think it was like 7:30, and we said, fuck it, we'll just walk home, man. It can't be that far. So obviously it's through a fucking jungle. So we started walking home, and we seen this guy had a motorbike.
Yeah.
He said, mate, you want to take us up to the top of the hill? We'll give you fucking, I don't know what it was. I can't remember how much it worked out.
Yeah.
But the guy was absolutely buzzing. He was like, aye, I'll take you in the bother. So round in the streets in the PP Islands, it's like these wee thin narrow tracks, and the guy fucking went right over on the track and fell right down the ditch. And we were like, fucking hell. The guy broke his motorbike, and we were like, oh, this is a fucking shambles, man.
In the middle of the jungle.
No, this was before the jungle. This was to try and get up the hill to get to the jungle. So we was like, fuck it, we'll just walk. So we started walking it halfway up, and we were like, this is fucking taking ages. So we stopped. I don't even smoke weed or that as well, and I was like, I'll roll a joint, fuck it. So we sat down on this kind of hill into the jungle, and then I can't remember. There's this drink, is it M150 or something it's called in Thailand. It's made with bull testosterone. So it's like it's basically illegal in some places in Asia. It's honestly, man, what a done it gives you, man. So we
Absolutely done.
So we scudded a couple of them. We're walking up this hill, and I was like, fuck it, I'll try and roll a joint. Also, I don't even smoke weed.
Try.
I can remember from back in the day rolling a couple of joints and that. So we sat down on this hill. It was just the freest. It was fucking, we were buzzing though, do you know what I mean? There was no like, no as if like we've got a flight to catch tonight or anything like that. We were just fucking in the zone. And then, no word to lie, it's the fucking one of the best joints I've ever seen as well. I can remember my two mates was like, fucking no way, man, that's a belter. So we smoked this Thai stick joint. It was, you don't even really get much off it, do you know what I mean? But it was still just funny. And then we started walking up this hill. It got to the stage where we're like walking through bits and you can just feel fucking things biting your legs and all that. Do you know what I mean? It was a proper jungle. And then we could start to see like a big cliff. So we sat up in the cliff and the sunrise started coming up and we were like, this is fucking amazing, man. Right. Honestly, it was like a scene out of a film. Well, but it turned out missing the boat was the best thing that ever happened, man. So it made the full trip. And then the sun started like just peaking. It was like, fuck it, we'll go around, we'll go and get a swim back at the villa. And we started walking back through the jungle and see, because the sun had just rose. It must have been like a fucking alarm clock for all these monkeys, man. All these fucking, honestly, man, there's like fucking, about 20 monkeys just above our heads started jumping.
They start chucking stuff, because I was in Costa Rica and I was staying in this tree house in Costa Rica, and they fucking at night they chuck fucking stones to your bed. So I mean, they know what they're doing.
Nah, we fucking went.
It was just you.
We see that way, but like, it felt as if they were going to attack us, man, because there was like hundreds of them jumping down. There was like these wee baby monkeys fucking swinging for like fucking 3 trees up. And then it got to the stage we were fucking picking up big logs and that, thinking these fucking monkeys are going to attack us.
Fun at the ends.
No, obviously we weren't going to hit any of the monkeys, but it was fucking,
they are vicious, than they think.
Some of them were fucking huge as well, man. And then it was just ridiculous, man, for being down at that beach where like fucking, it was like pure cheesy EDM, walking about with just scudding like fish buckets. Fucking,
that's mental.
Whatever it was, man, and then just walking through the jungle, the monkeys jumping fucking down the tree. And it was a funny trip, man, but it's the experiences that would have never happened if I never got booked to play. See, if that one gig in Berlin never happened, I wouldn't have done any of the tours, do you know what I mean?
That's amazing.
She ended up being that woman, Alien. She was a wonderful woman, man, proper sound. she ended up being like kind of my booking agent for Asia, so I'll probably play in Asia every year now.
So these gigs for the tour, like I know, like when you're playing all these shows in a short space of time, like what's your strategy? Like what the tune? Have you got an idea in your head what you want to play? Because like, I wouldn't do it as a DJ, but I've spoken to people that like DJs on tours, they'll play the same tunes at every show. I mean, what's your kind of stats on that?
It was totally different because I played in Vietnam, and then we didn't know what to expect, but it turned out it was like it was called Bamboo Club.
Yeah.
And it looked quite cool, but it was like bottle service and that at it.
Oh.
So it was like I was playing up in this stage that was 100 yards away from the crowd. There was like fucking flimethrowers and all that going off.
And you're just
and I was just
slamming
like,
at the techno.
I played more mellow techno, but I was just like, so I was looking on the translator, so obviously they were writing in Vietnamese, and they kept calling it, what was it they kept calling it? It was something hilarious. They kept calling it like, they kept calling it like super tech. We have like Frazi.er coming over for a super tech special. So they kept like, so I was like, maybe they're going to write light techno here. And within 10 minutes to get into the club, I was like, there's definitely nobody here that likes techno, man. They claimed they did like techno, but it was a totally different environment. So going for like Tokyo to Vietnam, Bangkok, the club in Bangkok was really cool. It's called Glow. It's a full function one sound system. It looked really good as well, and there was people from Scotland that were in Bangkok at the time, and they all came to the gig. That happened every time. See if there was any Scottish people in that country that was playing it, all of them came to the gig. There was like people, when I was playing in Singapore actually, there was people, it was obviously like a cage, but there was a kind of tiny wee hole in the middle. Mm-hmm. And I can remember it was like a guy wearing like a fucking shirt, like a full white shirt, and he had just like a picture of Scotland flag on his phone, like just saying,
dancing
just like that. And then there was like somebody else who put on their notes, sub club, and just was doing like that.
Have you worn them once?
These guys were fucking financial advisors staying in Singapore who heard I was playing, and they've obviously came along to the gig, man, so it was quite cool.
Have you worn a Motherwell kit while you're DJing before?
Nah, I've never done that actually, man. Do you know what started to annoy me? See, because I hate glory hunters, man. See, because I'm a Motherwell fan.
Yeah.
I hate glory hunters.
Who's a glory hunter?
People that support.
There are glory. I'm not a glory hunter. My granddad was at the 67 in Lisbon, you know, so it's all through my generation.
Nah,
but there are some.
There was, I went for a stage at any DJ, preferably, mainly Scottish DJs as well. As soon as they got big, they thought it was cool to wear the C.R. Smith Celtic top and come on stage with a bottle of wine. And that just started fucking, that just put me off wearing football tops.
No, I know what you mean.
But we're working on for the clothing brand Avose, we're working on a 5-year anniversary top. It's like a concept.
Tell us a bit about the brand then.
Actually, the brand Avose, I started it when I was at Join Ibiza as well. That was the second year. Mm-hmm. It was related to kind of the whole culture of Ibiza, just the fashion, just relating kind of fashion with music. Like the style that we were into at the time was all black and white, and that was just kind of getting big at the time. Like, so
yeah, there was a
just
era
all black.
of black and white, because my first night promoting was all black and white, and it kind of was.
I know it sounds cringy,
I've not changed.
Well, I mean, I wear all different. I was wearing my brown.
Oh, your brown suit.
My brown suit.
I was at the time when even like before they got really mainstream, like the black Karachis were like so hard to get. Nobody knew where to buy them, and everybody was just wearing all black. Music on in Ibiza was the time, so it's like wearing all black with like gold chains, and then the brand started in Ibiza initially with swim shorts and t-shirts, and it was just a side project, and then it came back from Ibiza, and there's people all over the UK wearing it.
How did you come up with the name?
Our version of our story Ibiza, so it's just an abbreviation.
No way.
Related to kind of music, fashion and culture. And then I had one of my best friends, Aaron, at the time, still is one of my best friends in the crowd now.
Shout out.
And then we'd always spoke about, like previously to starting Avose, we'd always spoke about possibly doing something together. Like we didn't know what kind of project it would be. And so when I was staying in Ibiza, Aaron built the website and he was doing all the web sales in the UK.
Nice.
And then we just came back and just collaborated. And again, a bit like my music, it's the brand's it's got a lot of inspirations from other designer brands and other projects, and it's all just made into one. And a lot of the brands that we like and were wearing at the time were like fucking £300 a t-shirt, £500 a jacket and stuff like that. So we wanted to create something that was unique, special and affordable for people, do you know what I mean? So they could wear it clubbing or they could wear it going to festivals.
You don't mind if they get a wee spill of Jaeger or something on it, you know what I mean?
And that's it. Maybe we'd be bothered about that to be fair.
What's the kind of plans with that? Like, what's your aim?
For a Voce?
Yeah.
Do you know what, we had the option like 2 and 3 years ago to like sell it in like places like ASOS and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we just thought like, we were aiming really high, like not high end as in pricing high end, but we wanted to try and get into Harvey Nicks end clothing.
Okay.
Aiming high, but
We've got contact at End Clothing.
good to know. I've got a few as well. It's just, but it's just trying to get it.
One of the designers.
It's just trying to get. I don't know. There's like so much hustle to get it to that
Yeah,
stage.
no,
So
it's tough. Like,
we've stripped it back to. We want to make it even more affordable, and we want to just scale it up to. Even if it means, when I say commercialising it, we were always very protective. Like, nah, we don't want to grow too fast. We don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. We're at the stage now. We know the product's good. People like it. We've had loyal fucking people buying it for 6 years who still demand like, when's the new stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just time to scale it up. And
would you say you kind of tie it in with like your DJing side as well? Like
definitely. Yeah. So our full new collection is all really based on clubbing. Like it's all lightweight like nylon stuff. All very functional. The new sling bags we've got, like they're good for photographers, DJs. You can put headphones in it if you're travelling. You can put your passport and stuff in it. It's very technical, but like functional stuff as well. So
yeah.
it's
everything you need.
everything you need. So it's quite exciting, man. So trying to keep it fresh and just every year just trying to catch people's eyes by something new.
It's good because obviously now it's a big thing with Instagram and product difference. Doing different products and
definitely.
Yeah, and you seem to, your stuff. You seem to be doing it well, and people moan about DJs having to be, graphic designers or the whole brand, but that's the reality of it.
Yeah, you are marketing yourself essentially.
That's what we kind of want to do with our new projects. We don't just want to do one single thing. You got to branch out. And it's actually quite fun doing it as well.
No, definitely,
it is fun. Like people moan about it, but actually, no. If you've got something you want to do, then it is fun.
Splits up your focus as well. But for me, the hard until lockdown, the hard thing for me was finding because there was so much happening with my music. I didn't have as much time for a Voce.
Yeah.
And I got to the stage I was taking on a lot of stress, and then I was thinking like, I don't know where I want to go. But now having one good thing about COVID was just having that extra time just to focus and what direction are we going to take it, and then maybe we do need to bring in more of a team for a Voce just to manage it. And
so what was your like before lockdown? What was your like standard week? How would that kind of play out? Like what type?
So every weekday I would still be in the office because our setup, we've got my music studios in one room.
Yeah. We've
got our main office for a Voce, and then we've got a stock room.
So it's like a wee cultural
hub
that you'll work from.
You could jump between making some music, packing some orders,
nice,
working in samples, sitting down with Aaron, maybe going over some of the new designs.
Yeah.
So it was a good multifunctional creative space, and for making music, I would probably always stay later, or I would come in on a Sunday and just go full boom and nobody's in the building because we've got other people that share the building. But every day I'd be in the studio, even if I was just mixing down projects or kind of just building some solid ideas and loops to then take into a proper studio session. Every day I'd be in the studio though. Like it's like I don't know if for me my full life's based around my music, man. Obviously I still always allocate time for a Voce, but like it's like a full. People don't realise you need to commit your full life to it.
Did you say you've got like a structure? Say like going into when you're making tracks, have you got like a structure?
In terms of the creative process? Or?
Just in terms of like the whole process in general. Like do you say like I'm going to go in at 12 o'clock this day and I'm going to spend X amount of time on it?
Mm-hmm. I always try and have fresh ideas. So even when I was away travelling, I would still write down notes on my phone what I think would be cool. And so I would always try and approach the studio session with fresh ideas. And I always start off with kick and bass because a lot of the energy comes from your kick and bass and techno, man. I always try and I build up loops first, kick and bass, and then I would still try and add in synths. But the way techno was going, it was all getting like really everyone was forcing out these rave synths and trying to get too ravey, whereas I'm trying to actually strip it back to having a full high energy track with not any obvious like synths, like breakdowns and stuff like that. But it's just it takes time, man. You can end up.
Were you building like making quite a lot of tracks during like the lockdown process?
Focusing purely on high intensity sounds. Just trying to how can I get more energy in my sound without making it sounding too cluttered or too much stuff going on. But it takes time, man.
My structure now is I used to be kind of get a drum going with a bass, but now I get like the main melody of the synth and then put a bass line on it.
Put a bass line over it?
Yeah, and I find...
I suppose it maybe works different for whatever genres, whereas you're maybe trying to capture the kind of the low end frequencies and the...
Yeah, because what I, my music's very like, bass, like the sort of deep house bass, but like I know that, to get a bass to go with it, the actual main melody of the track, that's the structure I do it. And a lot of people when I started said use a reference track. I didn't do that because
it's not something I've never done. Because for me you're blocking your creative.
Yeah, I tried it and it didn't work for me, and I was like, nah, fuck that. And I found, I spoke about it before. I found it really hard for the past couple of years to finish a track and get the arrangement. But now, I can do it straight away. And
I've never been a fan of referencing tracks. I think it's good to take influence from tracks you like, but referencing tracks is just, I don't know, man, it's too much copy. I don't know.
No, you're right. Like it doesn't
defeats the full purpose of the creative process as well. Like, I think if you know through time, even if you're mixing, if you're a DJ, you know roughly the first minute of tracks, like an intro, you don't have all your elements coming in, your outros, that, so you should know roughly when to add your kind of main parts of your track. And
so how many tracks did you say you managed to get over lockdown to get done? How
many have I managed to make?
Yeah.
I reckon I've probably made at least 40, but I don't think I'll release any more than...
Have you got any going out on any labels or anything?
I've got my biggest release to date coming out on... Nice. I can't even say the name of it now because it's coming out.
Tell us off air.
I'll tell us off air, right. It's a label owned by one of the biggest DJs in the world, so it's...
Okay.
I've been trying to keep my mouth shut for September, but I think it got pulled. It was actually meant to be out in May, so I would have been able to speak about it now if that was the case. It's been pulled back to June just with COVID dragging on a wee bit more. So
with these 40 tracks, because it's something that I want to take a bit of advice from personally. Like I made 10 tracks, right, and I've all got them in a playlist on SoundCloud. Like if you've got 40 tracks, if you're sending them out to labels, will you like pick maybe a couple that you want to send two to a label, or would you send the whole fucking list?
No, I would send. I never normally send any more than between 6 and 8 tracks. I normally send as a demo, and I'll always show variation. So I'd have like maybe a deeper track, a higher energy track, a track with a synth.
So you just make new playlists?
Maybe a track that's got a vocal in it, maybe something with a wee bit of Detroit in it.
Yeah.
I'd make a playlist of 6 or 8 tracks. But then again, for me, I found with a lot of labels you end up like they have a precise sound, so they're telling you, I want something like that. And then some labels like, that's too hard, or that's something too soft. Like,
is that something you find quite a lot, like a label asks or something, but you're having to change?
I find it's quite a big issue, man, as well. I think with techno as well, there's so much politics, but it's like...
Yeah.
What would they ask you to change? Like
some labels, sometimes they'll not even ask you to change it, they'll just say, nah, that's too hard, or we're looking for something a wee bit harder, but it's just like...
It's a shame, because it kind of takes away the creative element of it.
You feel like you're a chef or something, asking, how do you want your eggs fucking poached, scrambled, hard-boiled, soft-boiled, do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, it takes away the full creative process. Like you've made that track because you've felt something in it that felt good.
It should be a reflection of who you are, not who the label think you should be. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. And I think it can be a creative block for people as well. I found myself in a situation where, as much as Second State became a massive label for me, they always wanted stuff that was more minimal.
Yeah.
But then I was playing stuff that was a lot harder. So I was then producing stuff that I maybe wouldn't have produced if I wasn't focusing on Second State. So I think it's important not to tunnel vision your full production into one label or one sound, because it actually then becomes a creative block. And for me, it probably held me back about 12 months worth of production.
It's such a mind fuck, like all the different
you see it
elements.
All the time, man,
like
as well.
you're overthinking things, and it's mental, and knowing what labels to send it to, and like if people don't reply, you kind of like, oh well, why are they not replying? It's good. Like
I know. I think the knockbacks make you an artist as well, though. I've probably had more knockbacks than Big Game gets in a weekend. Do you know what I mean? But
Definitely gives you like a drive,
on your
doesn't
stride.
it?
You still you kind of just learn. You just kind of learn like it's a harsh reality. Sometimes you could have made what you think is your best music, and somebody could say, "Nah, I don't like it." And then at the time, it's hard to take on. But for me, it's probably got me to where I am in terms of producing. I still feel as if I'm nowhere near half as what I want to be in terms of my producing.
And these tours that you were talking about, like in abroad and in Berlin, when did the sort of UK shows? Was it slightly later that they started coming, or
the UK shows were probably before it?
Oh, before it.
Aye, and then I was kind of coming back from playing in Berlin, and it was just kind of getting bigger.
So what were some of the first sort of UK ones you were playing?
When I played under my name Frazi.er, I actually played the Cocoon stage at EH1 and at Royal Highland Centre.
Oh yeah.
That was quite a big gig at the time. Frazi.er, I'm trying to even remember. Played at Sleaze and Lachita, but seeing Glasgow, see coming as a new artist on the scene.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to support you. It was very like people were very were very protective.
Vicious.
Very protective over like anybody new coming on the scene. So then that led to starting Incept at the time, which was our club night, which is obviously now transitioned into Concept.
So talk to us about Incept, because I remember, like, I think you were doing that roundabout when I was doing Odyssey, like that same 2016.
Aye, would have been. I think we ran Incept for 4 years, and then we got to the stage where, like, even 3-4 years ago, we booked. I got good friends with Emily Lenz because she was on my first release in Second State. She was on the same EP, the same VA, Various Artists compilation, and I just knew she was going to be massive. And I can remember I put an offer in for a gig, and then by the time the gig came, she was worth 10 times more than what we'd got for. And then it just things changed really quick, man. I think with festivals getting so big as well, like DJs that even like Sam Paganini and stuff like that, we'd booked them for like reasonably good prices, and we couldn't get them for under 10 grand. And it's just like we got to the stage that our resident parties were selling just as good sometimes as well. And then I don't know, it took the fun away as well. And like I always plan ahead, so 4 years ago we did plan to do the festival, and then we never got around to it till later on. But I can remember it got to the stage and it was like DJs' prices were just getting ridiculous, and I was just like, do you know what, that takes all the fun away. So that's how I ended up kind of focusing it back on the open to close parties. Where I'd played Terminal V main stage 4 or 5 times, Sub Club 6 or 7 times, and I still hadn't played a peak time set at any of these two events.
It's brutal, man.
Do you know what I mean? And people in Scotland at the time, even like 2 years ago, and that thought like I was a fucking superstar DJ, and I was like, I'm still like
Who've not even had that experience, you know.
Still well below where I kind of want to be, and then that's where the kind of open to close concept came in, of like playing longer sets. The first one was at the Ferry, and it was just Frazi.er all night long, and then
I remember that, like the
on the ferry, the Renfrew ferry.
Yeah, so like.
Yeah, you have to tell us in the very beginning how this all came about.
Aye, so that was the first set. So we started focusing on the parties on purely the atmosphere on the nights, like bringing it back to what clubbing is, why you go clubbing, how the atmosphere should be. So initially, first things first, we were putting in bigger sound systems, like bringing in like the biggest function one you could put in without fucking getting shut down.
Sinking the boat.
And then started doing, I've always had this weird obsession for tube lights. I don't know why, I just think they're so futuristic, they work well in clubbing, and we started programming them into like cool chaser effects, so they'd like run around the club and make like a kind of unique atmosphere. Yeah. And then the Frazi.er all night long I done at the Ferry was amazing, man. It was a great night, and I got to play like 5 hours, so I could start showing people like fully like what my sound was about, what my vision was, the kind of.
And as a promoter, you're doing it with, your club night. You know what it's like. You announce a show, and you're like looking at the tickets. Some of them go for you, some of them don't. Like, what was your, when you did the open to close, were you convinced it would sell out? Like, how were you thinking in terms of tickets? Because you've always got an idea, don't you?
No. The first Frazi all night long was probably the biggest risk I'd done, because that was the first one. And then later on that year, I was the first open to close was the secret location one at Belmont Lane, and at the time it seemed like a big risk, because I was thinking like, fuck, what if I don't sell any tickets? But then I was thinking it's only 600 capacity. That still is obviously a good size.
It's still quite a lot, yeah.
But then I was thinking, if if I'm the DJ, I don't need to pay the agency fees, I don't need to pay ridiculous amounts for DJs, and the money I'd be spending in DJs, I'll just allocate to the production budget and just put in a much bigger production. And then, so at the time, when was that? I announced the party in October, so I had what was that coming up again? I had a remix for Panpot I'd done for the 10-year anniversary of Confronted, which was a massive track, and I'd just played in Berlin on Halloween, and I already had the idea of doing like an underground party somewhere, and it was actually landed, so I was playing in Berlin on the Thursday night because Halloween's big over there, and Berghain had just opened a new room called the Sal on the ground floor, so me and my mate Josh, we went to Berghain before my set. Fucking hilarious pre-party. So went to Berghain, and then obviously you go in, no camera policy, which for me was a massive issue in Scotland. But at the same time, like kids these days don't know any different but to go and
that's just a normality for them.
And like see going to Berghain, it was the second time I'd been in the main room like a couple of years before. Been in that ground floor room, it's just like proper industrial, like so cool. Like the energy is unbelievable. Even if you tried to dance as fast as you could.
How would you describe it when you first walked in?
It's like, it's intimidating, man, but so I'd already been knocked back, the first time I went to Berghain, I'd already been knocked back 7 or 8 times, and then we managed to wing our way onto Bangkok's guest list. My mate Chris, who's a couple of years older, he's cousins with Dominic, for Harry and Dominic, so he'd been to Panorama Bar a few times, and he's like, I'm telling you mate, if you're on the guest list, you don't need to wait in this queue, because the queue was fucking couple of hours long, and I was like, I don't know, man. I think 3 Scottish guys jumping in front of 400 people and saying they're on the guest list, they're just not even going to listen to you and tell you to bolt. So he's like, I'm telling you. I was like, hey, will you go down first then? So my pal Chris went down to the bottom door. He's like, aye, sound all good. We skipped the full queue, but we said we were on Bangkok's guest list. And obviously I'd been knocked back hundreds of times. They don't even look. They look at you pure disgusted, like 9, and just tell you to bolt basically. And then we're on the guest list. So he was like, you're on Ben's guest list, and you come. And we were just like, this is fucking hilarious.
Oh, yes.
And then got stickers over our phone, put our stuff in the cloakroom, and then it's just like this big staircase that goes round the hanging in just right in the middle of the dance floor. And just as soon as you walk in, you're just like, this is wild, man.
Aye.
It's crazy, man. It's just, the atmosphere is just, I've never seen anything like it in a club, man. Just like I was going to say, like, even if you danced as fast as you could, people were still dancing faster. It's just like crazy.
There's always somebody outdoing someone.
There's all these podiums as well, so people were like dancing high. It was just like these like really cool girls, just like guys just fucking going crazy. And obviously there was a lot of crazy scenes as well, which I'll not discuss in the camera. But
I think we need to do an episode in Berlin, don't we?
Yeah.
It was crazy, man. And then for me, that was about the best clubbing experience I've probably had, and really started to understand like why the no camera policy is such a big thing. So fast forward a couple of years when I was playing in that gig in Berlin, would have been October 2019, and then I can remember I said to my mate, I said, I fucking haven't even got a gig the day my Panpot remix was out, which was a huge track. We'd just done a really big video for it. I said, I'm going to do a secret location party, no camera policy, relaxed dress code policy, and no cameras in the dance floor. Because for me as well, a big issue was like one of my favourite clubs, I don't even want to name them now, one of my favourite clubs in Glasgow, like, I was playing in it the month before, and there was a guy travelled through from Edinburgh, and he was the first at the door, and I can remember I went up to the cash desk just to check everything was alright, and the bouncers were just starting, and I can remember they looking at him and says, you're not getting in wearing the trousers. He was wearing Stone Island like nylon cargos, they were still smart, like the black cargos, and he's like, that breaches our dress code policy. And I was thinking, and I said, oh, that's one of my mates. I didn't know the guy, but I just said, that's one of my mates. He's all good. Like, I'm happy for him to wear that. And then she was like, nah, can't have him coming in like that. What? And I was thinking, I was wearing a nylon Avosi track at the time, and I was like, well, I'm wearing a nylon black trackie. She's like, yeah, well, you're DJing, so that's different. And I was just thinking, it's almost discrimination in it, man. It's like people. As if they're expecting people to come wearing a full denim fucking suit to a gig. Do you know what I mean? Like, people should be able to wear where they feel comfortable clubbing in. It's like,
they're there for the experience, they're not there to fucking have
a lot of these guys, they love that power. You know, I've had a couple. You know, I had a run in with.
I know something.
The guy I know what you're talking about, maybe. A couple, you know, before I was, I went through for a boiler room, and he was. I I think I went out for a fag, and I'd already been in. He'd already seen me go in, and
doesn't even smoke as well.
yeah, I don't even smoke, and basically my ID must have fallen out. But I already had the wristband on, and he says, "You're not getting in." I says, "What?" He says, "You've already seen me go in." I obviously dropped it through in the club, and he's like, "You're not going in." I was fucking, you know, a lot of these guys love the power. They love telling little cunts.
What you're know to be.
Yeah, but yeah. So with your night, the open to close, you know, did that sell out in the first time?
The first one's for me, that was actually a big risk, because I was thinking, are folk going to take to the no camera policy? Like, obviously you don't want to be acting like a fucking school teacher saying, you know, hold your phone out, you're getting a sticker over your camera, if you're on your phone you're getting chucked out. Like, it seems harsh at the time, but the policy serves a purpose. And for me, the way the techno scene was going in Scotland, if it wasn't considered, there wouldn't be a techno scene in the next 5 years. Like, it was getting ridiculous. So when I brung out the policy, at the start I was like, this is a big risk. I put up a tweet, fucking went mental, and then the party was in 3 weeks. Like, normally you would announce a party like 8 to 16 weeks before. This party was in 3 weeks, and then the party's, I think it sold out in like 40 minutes. And then, like, I mean, I never even made a flyer, just a post of me in the club. I spoke about the policy, and people were like, "That's amazing, I can't wait to experience that." Like,
and what was your Instagram like? What was your profile at that point in time? Like, you must have had an indication, like, right, I'm at a certain level now, this could be pulled off.
It was a good building stone, I think, because I'd been a resident at Terminal V, I'd been playing Night Vision, which was obviously the main parties in Edinburgh at the time, and then I was, well, still is obviously, and then I was obviously running parties in Glasgow, so I think I had a really good core, I had a core following in Scotland, and I felt as if, because I'd been doing the kind of bigger sound systems, the light installations, I felt as if people were kind of listening and interested in what I was going to do next, kind of thing.
And do you feel this policy has changed the dynamic of like your dance floor now?
100%, because I'd played, so the first open to close at the Belmont Lane, the Secret Rave one. What a night that was. Obviously you were there actually, weren't you? You made it. It was a great night.
Were you?
I haven't.
Well, I can remember much.
And then I can remember, I think I spoke about him earlier, my mate Hutchie, he's a proper purist. And I can remember him going, "That was fucking amazing, mate." Like, he would tell you straight if it was shite or it didn't work out. And he's like, "What a difference that is. I've never seen that in Scotland." Like, that atmosphere. Like, people were just coming straight, like the way it was in Berlin, people, because obviously it sold out as well, and people were excited to see the difference in the policy. People were coming on the dance floor with like fucking a good bit of energy, and within like a few tracks I was like, "This is crazy, man." The club was full in the first.
Lighting up with somebody's flash on.
I know, that's it. And then the day after, so obviously we had a bit of a mad after party, I think we called it a day, like just lunchtime the day after. I went to go and get a few hours sleep, and I woke up and had 4 missed calls for the manager at SWG3. And I was like, "What the fuck, that's weird, man."
Oh God, I hate that.
And I was like, and I remember they had Charlotte DeWitt playing that night, and I was like, maybe they wanted to borrow Malin and Heath mixer or something. And then I finally got hold of him, and he was like, "Oh fuck, I was trying to get hold of you, Charlotte DeWitt's cancelled, we wanted you to cover." And I was like, "I'll do it, no bother." He's like, "Oh, we've just got a couple of DJs covered." And then I think people had already, prior to this phone call, I think people had already been putting on the Facebook event saying, "Get Frazi to play." Like, people were probably,
yeah, I remember that actually.
People were going fucking crazy saying, "Definitely get Frazi to play," and all that. So I was like, "I'll play." And then
so that was the day after?
It was the day after, SWG3 were like tweeting back saying, "We tried to, the big man was sleeping," and all that, just taking a joke. And then I can remember he said, "Fuck, we'll get you to play, because obviously we can see people want you to play here." And see, as much as it was a great night, see that Galvanizer gig, it was actually my first time playing in the Galvanizer, because I still hadn't played it, because for whatever reason it got changed. And then I was playing on a stage, like fucking 8 foot high, a wee bit further away for the crowd, and everybody just sitting with their phone lights on, like that. And see the difference, man. It honestly felt for playing in an underground club to go to a concert.
Yeah.
But the Galvanizer is one of the best venues in Scotland, do you know what I mean? And it just, that really highlighted it. So when I had done the Galvanizer night, I played on a stage 2 foot high. I didn't even want to play on a stage, but then when we walked out of the full design of the room, after 15 metres into the crowd, if you were playing in even 1 foot high, people can't see you.
Yeah.
So 2 foot, people in the full room could see you. So
just enough elevation.
Do you know, someone actually, I don't know why, but they interviewed me for their dissertation a couple of weeks ago, and they were asking me about like the no camera policy and the social media stuff, and I said, like, from my perspective as a promoter, he basically was like, could you do a party without any social media? And I said, you could do it if you were a DJ like yourself and you had a following and you announced at a party. But if you're a normal promoter, you rely on getting your message out there.
Definitely.
And like, especially when, advantage with the cameras. I get what you're saying as DJ. It's brutal when you're DJing and they've got the fucking light in your eye.
But some DJs rely on
it.
But
basically, when I was doing Odyssey, one of the really good things, if I had a sold out event, like my first event was with like Patrick Topping, which sold out.
Yep.
So first people that go to your show, they're videoing the whole night and they see the Odyssey sign, they see Patrick Topping, and people have seen it on their Instagram, they're seeing it on their Snapchat, and they're like, fuck, what's this Odyssey night? It's a form of marketing in that sense, so it helped, but then it's got the other side to it as well. So it's like, I think if you've got a really strong, for me it helped me early on as a promoter, because people see the sign and they see but it gets to a point when you've got a strong following, you can do it because people know about yourself or a DJ. So I think it's got two sides to it.
I think as well though, there was a lot of people who didn't know who I was when it started though, but see people speaking about how much better the party was. That was 10 times more valuable than what the person was uploading it. Because everybody that was at that night was tweeting or putting on their Instagram story, like maybe even just pictures of girls in their apartment getting ready before they went out, or people just tweeting it saying, that is the best night I've had in Glasgow and Scotland and stuff like that. So that was actually 10 times more valuable than what it would be for just your average person saying, I was at Frazi the night with everybody on their phone. But it's like, it's crazy, man. Like there was scientific evidence that even if we were sitting here just now, if I'm holding my phone in my hand, I'm 30% more distracted just holding it. Yeah. So think if you're actually standing videoing the full night, it's like fucking, you're not going to remember what, you're so distracted by, you should be focusing and
just enjoying it.
Just enjoying the music, man. Like some of my best clubbing experience, I've still got vivid memories. Like Joe Caprati played Chained to Dead Camel at Awakenings 9 years ago, and you remember all this stuff, and you're more focused and you're more likely to take in the experience and appreciate it. Yeah. If you're sitting on your phone filming it or fucking streaming it through your Snapchat, do you know what I mean?
Personally as a punter, like I've always said, I love going on nights out because, first of all, you can't even see your phone because you're so fucked.
I know, it's
so
an iPad.
You just put it in your pocket and you didn't worry about it. And you're just living in the moment. You know what I mean? You're DJing, you listen to the tunes, you have a drink. You know what I mean? So that's the sort of way I look at it. But you talk about the festival
concept.
Yeah. So what was your? You said you planned that 4 years in advance. Like, was that your whole strategy to get to that point?
Aye. So even the Galvanizer, like I had the Galvanizer lined up 2 years before, and that was initially going to be Incept Festival at the Galvanizer, and then we just kept having issues with the headliners. Like Sam Paganini pulled out last minute.
It's brutal
DJs they were trying to book were now fucking 25 grand dearer. I was just thinking like it was just becoming a proper circus act.
Nightmare,
it was just becoming a piss take. Like how can you enjoy your night when the agent's saying, right, well this DJ is now 32 grand. You need to pay the jet, the agency fees. The booking fee is going to be 6.5 grand. You need to pay 7% VAT in Germany for this.
Helicopter,
It's just like,
do you want to remortgage the house?
I know exactly. I felt saying, do you want a helicopter bought for you as well? And then so the Galvanizer was lined up as a possible Incept festival, and then it just never worked out. And then we always had the idea to do the festival at a certain location, but we've had the same location lined up for 4 years, and this is where Concept Festival was going to be, but it's still on hold. But we're hoping to go ahead end of November into maybe December, and then we're going to bring out some warehouse parties as well, some secret raves.
So are they all going to be techno?
Techno, aye.
Yeah. So
high energy techno.
So like different stages or?
So where the is gave away too much closer. Where the festival is.
Bleep that out.
I bleep that out, please. Where the festival is, because it's such a big, the type of space it is, it's quite unique. It's like the gas howder, for example.
Right.
You couldn't have 2 rooms in the gas howder, but there is an upstairs you can use, and another room will just be for upcoming techno acts. But for me, like, you get DJs in Scotland, like guys will start DJing every week. Just now I'll get a guy saying, that's me mate, got my first mix up, let me know if you want a set. Like that doesn't interest me. I'm looking for people who actually want to be an artist, like who want to be producing music, who want to be DJing, who are trying to create their own sound. Like like there's so much. I feel in Scotland, like every DJ just tunnel visions are selling to, I want to be the next Patrick Toppin, I want to be the next Alan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, rather than wanting to be
I want to be Salado, I want to be Camel Fat. Like these guys are all hugely successful in their own way, but it's the wrong thing to do, is just to focus on, I want to be the next such and such. Like, you can take influence, if you really want to go down that sound, you can take influence from it and put your own spin in it, but
you need to be an individual person. Really
I'm going to be looking for people who are actually trying to push themselves as producers, artists, trying to do their own sound. So Room 2 will be for upcoming talent.
Yeah.
Well, it is pretty much all techno, but I mean, I think for me as well, there's still a lot. For how big Glasgow is Glasgow's the second biggest city in the UK for techno based on ticket stats.
Yeah.
Manchester's third by not much after, but Manchester's twice the size as Glasgow. Do you know what I mean? Manchester should have a much bigger scene. Like for the size of Glasgow, the stats are crazy, man. So there should actually be more.
Manchester's kind of locked down with Warehouse Project, so the scenes, a lot of
house.
Yeah, a lot of the promoters that aren't involved with them, they always say they struggle to get, to do any parties through there because. Can we pause for a sec? I need a piss.
Yeah, he's dying on a piss. He's something like that.
I'm dying for a piss.
And I can see him shaking. He needs to go. Toilet break.
Yes. So, talk to us a bit about, obviously, things have been going well for you, and then COVID happened. Like, what did that cancel? What did that disrupt?
I suppose the full year we had lined up, we'd literally just announced Concept Festival like 2 weeks before lockdown happened. We had all the lineup finalised, we had all our marketing just ready to go out, and then obviously just get told like fucking everyone's shutting. So we moved from May to August, August to December, December to this May, and then now it's May into fuck knows when it's going to be. Probably, well, hopefully kind of Boxing Day would be ideal as a solid date, like no cancellation. But I mean, it was crazy just to already plan it for 4 years to then be told, right, you're waiting another 2 years.
Yeah.
I suppose things were really taking off just before lockdown happened, but at the same time I was grateful that I managed to do the open to close at the Galvanizer, because I think I was...
It's good you got that in, yeah.
It was 4 or 5 weeks before lockdown. I had the South America tour lined up, I would have had my third Asia tour, and then I was hoping to move to Amsterdam just to try and push stuff in Europe. So I suppose it did disrupt quite a lot of stuff, but at the same time I probably needed that extra time to focus on my music as well. Like, how do I take my sound to the next level? Where do I want to go with it? And I suppose it's just a waiting game for everybody just now. But
yeah, the South America tour, I mean, I've always wanted to do a South America tour. Me and my mate have always said we're going to Brazil to do the Dubs 96 tour, which I'm going to do that. 4 years, mate. I'm going to do it.
I always aim ridiculously high, and sometimes people will fucking maybe find it funny. Like the first time I said to the guy, the manager at SWG3, is like, I bring my open to close to the Galvanizer. He said, so who you thinking of booking? And I was like, no, I'll do it myself.
Fuck open to close.
And then he was just kind of laughed and just said like, it's too big a risk.
See, I'll have the last laugh.
But maybe it did seem ridiculous at the time, but I just like planning ahead and just aiming high and just trying to achieve it. Like,
and see,
I've always been good at winging it as well.
See, with the bookings and the tours, right? Were you getting like festival bookings as well?
I had for this year, because a lot of lineups never even got to fully announce, because they normally announce kind of like springtime, and then obviously COVID came. I had 2 festivals in Belgium lined up. I'm trying to think what else. In terms of in Europe, I never actually never had much confirmed, just because it was still quite early.
Yeah.
But hopefully I've still never done never had a proper festival, somebody just attacking festivals. I've only ever probably played 4 or 5 a month, 4 or 5 across the summer.
Yeah.
So hopefully once that can...
What kind of festivals would you want to play? What would be like your ideal kind of lineup of festivals?
Lineup of the actual branded festival, like who's my ideal festival?
No, like for yourself, what ones would you want to play?
Oh, who would I want to play? Awakenings Festival, either the Gas Howder or the outdoor one, that's my top one. I'd like to play Time Warp as well, because we went to that 3 years in a row when we were like 18, 19 and 20, so it's
Special place
it's a big personal aspect. I've got a lot of achievements, even Circle Local Ibiza, see if we've done 3 summers in Ibiza. I've already had talks with them just now, so hopefully that can happen soon.
And then, we'll come over for that.
Definitely. No, Awakenings would be like probably like a career defining moment for me, definitely, because even if you had to tell, like, do you know what I mean, it just seemed as if that would be impossible, but we made an agreement that we're not going back to Awakenings until I'm playing at it, but we already went last year, so fucked it.
So when you're talking about what, you've been a promoter before in the club shows and now you've kind of moved to the festival, what's the differences in, booking a festival lineup to a club show? Like, what, I know how it works with agents and fucking tour managers. It's a fucking nightmare for a club show.
No, definitely. So we've actually changed the plan of attack again. So we were drawn back into we need to have these big names.
Yeah.
But again, we're just sticking to the concept and focusing on the clubbing experience. Like, going to make sure it's a rave that people leave going like, fucking hell, that was amazing. We want to be creating stuff that people can look back on in 10 and 20 years and still be like, remember it. It's too much of the same stuff, and I think it's good to have kind of more forward-thinking ideas. The only thing that's going to be quite hard is maybe the no camera policy for a festival size. Yeah. Not just purely because of the marketing, just because people, I don't know, man. I think when you go to a festival, it still is good to have some sort of memory. Yeah. But we'll still have video guys there who will be filming it, and they can watch it back through our channels. But one thing we will be banning completely is flash photography. Yeah. Anyone using flash photography will get kicked out. Simple.
It ruins the whole experience.
It's just like it's actually disrespectful as well. So you're going right in front of the DJ and just standing with a fucking talk. It's like, it's so annoying.
Especially in a dark room.
But see, the thing is, see if you've got a light show, like see if you've got like tube lights that are making a cool like making a cool visual aspect of the party. You don't the flash in your camera has no purpose. It's still just the same if you turn it off. Yeah. It's just stupid and disrespectful. But
with the light shows and that, like,
that's where I get carried away.
Yeah. What was your like? Because obviously when I did Cab Vol and a lot of my nights were at Cab Vol, there was, the way you operate the lights in Cab Vol, you go on stage and there was a computer.
3-second delay.
There was a computer and you do it, and it was like I got to stage where I knew what I wanted, like I knew the effects that I wanted to do, but there was always a 3-second delay, so like you kind of look when the drop was coming, and you press it through.
Were you doing it yourself? Or
well, basically, if I was on stage, off my
everyone got a shot at the lights.
Everyone got on it. Usually sometimes I'd have a light guy would do it, but usually, you go on stage for 15-20 minutes, you do it, someone would take over, then you go around, and that's how I got. But like, I learned I knew what lasers I wanted at that point in time to reflect what I wanted. But like, in terms of a more advanced
lighting system,
so it's,
what was you thinking? Like, what did you want?
It's all pre-programmed, so we do a full like every single detail, the size of the decks, the size of the stage, the size of the room, every single detail in the room is all pre-designed to exact proportion. So it's like probably like for the galvanizer, it's like a 4-month process of designing.
No way.
Full technical drawing of the room and every single pillar, the feature behind. Every design is pre-programmed.
So we
know exactly what kind of look it's going to have, what kind of effects I want to have, what colours we're allowed to use, like Andy Stenterford's obviously like one of the biggest laser guys.
Yeah. Colours lecturer as well.
I had to get him in for a meeting, and it sounds as if I'm a Rangers fan, but actually I don't like Rangers.
We don't want Rangers fans.
But I told him,
although Kenny was a Rangers fan.
I told him I don't want any green, like basically to only use white, red, blue, wee bits of orange and pink, like no green lasers. I don't want any multicoloured lasers. It needs to be like that's how like fucking controlled it was. And then we had to source these tube lights from England. I think it was like 72 like LED tube battens they bring up, so they'll need to be pre-programmed, and we made like a design behind the DJ booth, and then you need to work out how much meters you need to cover all the pillars. But my light technician, he's done the Slam Tent for 15 years. He's done shows at Glastonbury, so he's like a proper professional. But see the detail that goes into, man, honestly.
But I think that's definitely going to impact on like your audience as well. Like if they can see the effort you're putting into just lights, you know, something a lot of people don't really, like, they won't take notice of. Like that.
It's all very particular as well, like certain lights only come on at a certain time, and there's like photon lights that will beam down, and then it's all based around a tube installation though, because that's the kind of the futuristic look we're trying to have. But I don't know, it's exciting, man. It just makes it a proper experience, and it's not as if it's like, you see parties that'll have big visuals and it'll be like 4D visuals. They're cool, but they can be a distraction for people, and it's also, people are more likely to start filming that if it's like a really cool thing on the screen.
And who does the event do you have who does the event management when you're DJing?
I also have like a night manager, and then I'll just have a couple of pals that will help out.
Doing it, yeah.
But we'll have a full team, like light technician. He's got an assistant, and then there'll be like sound guys that'll be there. So everything's really.
I always found that you know, there was some nights, usually a lot of the nights I had a team, and I'd, you know, be warming up for the vast majority of them, which was you don't have any nerves because you know it's going to do well. Your job's to DJ and you can just relax. But when I found I wasn't DJing, that's when I got like, just like, even if it was a sold out night, you're just like, because it's all about that experience, because even if it's a sold out night, you're not worrying about losing money, you're worrying about the people coming to have the best experience, because it's all about the brand, and it's, you know, if you're DJing, you're kind of in that moment. Even
if you're warming up before your headline act, as soon as you finish, you're making sure they've got the whatever rider they want, you're making sure everyone's good, making sure the sound's fine. And
well, you're entertaining somebody as well. It's another.
Aye, definitely. Aye. It's just, I just found it a lot more exciting when we're open to close, because I don't need to worry about like picking up DJs and not getting grilled by the agent saying, oh, the flight fee is now €800 instead of €500. Do you know what I mean? It's all that stuff that is just
distracts you from the main thing.
Paddy was we went to the airport and got all the DJs. That's how kind of
that's how we kind of like started working
and it was
together.
Like, that was that buzz. Like, I remember, you know, going to the airport and getting screaming that when we were fucking 19 or whatever.
That's class though, man. That's some of our best promoting memories as well.
And you just go into the airport and you're like,
waiting about.
We're like, I'm in fucking first year uni, and we got a sold out open close door at Cabot, and just like, this is mad.
It's class.
And just the whole, so many memories.
Sorry guys, we had a wee technical fucking delay there. That's something you've got a lot of experience in. Do you want to explain to us what happened with Resident Advisor then?
Do you think
I still don't know what happened, to be honest, man. It's just crazy.
What was it? You sold out 2 shows in under 15 minutes?
The first Galvanizer event, because that was the first one announced, 40% of the allocation was on SWG3's website, and 60% was on RA. But there was 5,000 more people trying to buy on RA than what there was available. So
why didn't you just go through RA completely?
No, it was through RA.
No, I mean, like, obviously 40% was on, you said.
It's because the SWG3 have a ticket allocation deal.
Oh, they are, right, okay.
They've got Ticket Web, I think they need to, they're actually meant to have half, but for my shows they do 60-40. And RA have just got a full new website, so you would never expect that to happen, but it crashed the full website.
Like, couldn't even get on the website?
No, even seeing my back end, like for my view. So I was in the event management side and the full event page deleted. And I was like, fucking hell. And obviously my inboxes, Twitter and all that was just going crazy. Like, the fucking full site's crashed, this is a fucking joke. And some people had managed to buy tickets.
Yeah.
They didn't know if it went through or not. And other people were obviously just raging because they never even got on the website, never mind got a ticket.
That must have felt amazing though.
It was good, but you know, in a weird way, it actually still pissed me off because I was wanting to just enjoy it, just coming
just
through.
Like, run smoothly.
Aye, because then I was obviously on the phone to the support management saying like, what's going on here? Like, they were like, fucking, we're working on it, we don't know what's happened and all that. Well, obviously, they knew it obviously crashed, but...
So how many tickets were on sale on Resident Advisor?
I think it was 1,200 we had on RA.
1,200, and you have 5,000 people in the queue waiting
trying to buy it, aye.
Hey, man.
And then... so it crashed the full website, and then I eventually came back on, and then their support team had to manually process every order, like just one by one. So it took like 45 minutes for them to do that, and then obviously they did say though they knew it was sold out, obviously, but and then the second date, so they were all sold within 2 minutes because obviously that's what it would take for people to complete their checkout or whatever.
So you know, going up. As a result of that, like, from my perspective, and Paddy probably, we're more house DJs, and you know, what's led to, you know, you selling out these shows, I think the way I look at it is sort of like emergence of this techno scene in
Possibly,
Scotland, it becoming massive, and it's still underground. But
Aye.
and when do you think that sort of started? Do you think it was when, like 2016, people started? Because do you think you could have done this in 2017?
No, it'd be impossible in 2017. Aye, it's just, I think like when I was growing up at 16, you would be listening to maybe house music, we buy an electro, you'd get into like deeper techno. Like kids these days at 16 know who Amelie Lenz is or Charlotte DeWitt. I mean, they're exposed to techno at a younger age. But that's the only downside, is that they don't have the clubbing experiences. They maybe don't fully understand like what it's all about. But I mean, it's still crazy. I mean, I looked at the stats for all 4 sold out open to close events. The average age was 22, which I thought was decent, man. Because even when you go to like Terminal V, and I've seen pictures from flying stuff.
It's younger.
It looks
the way I look at it is, I remember there's a couple. Was it last year or the year before? Martinez brothers were booked for
the Galvanizer. It got cancelled twice, didn't it?
Yeah, and I quite, at the time I liked them quite a lot, and they're massive house DJs, and they couldn't even sell out. The show got cancelled because
120 tickets.
Yeah, exactly. So this is it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's this techno.
I think people are probably most.
I don't think any other house DJ in the UK could do what you've done at the minute.
I think there was a good run up before the Galvanizer, and I think people were maybe liking the approach to focusing on the party, and people who had been at them before and maybe went back and told other friends like that was a good night. So I think I've got a responsibility to kind of try and educate these kids that are coming through, because I mean there could be some kids, I'm saying kids, but there could be like some 19-year-olds at my next Galvanizer event who have genuinely never been in a club because we've not been in clubs for 18 months. So I think it's important to try and keep them educated and to let them know that you don't want to obviously be too political, but to just go and enjoy the night. Like, clubbing is not about when people know
their first experience. If that's what they take on board, that's what they're going to continue to pursue.
Definitely. You always look up to the generation above. Well, that's what I always done anyway. And you're inspired by that. So I think if people can take inspiration from what I'm doing, then I think the scene in Scotland and the UK eventually could maybe adapt to bringing in a no camera policy, or trying to considering it at least. Do you know what I mean? Because I think, like I said previously, if it's not considered, there won't be a techno scene in the next 5 years in the UK.
I think what's good as well is, like we talk about, I think it's good if clubs push the residents and everything. You've come from, in Scotland, you've come from Motherwell, you've done nights, and technically you are one of the residents in Scotland, and now you're doing these big shows. But before, you need some guy from fucking down south, or
I think Alan Fitzpatrick's, Camel Fat, Green Velvet, and Patrick Toppin are the only 4 DJs to ever sell at the Galvanizer in under a week. So I done 2 dates. I think they sold out in like 14 or 15 minutes. So that's pretty ridiculous. I mean, it's like, but it's the thing that was pretty crazy for me is like people like Camel Fat, like the guy in Camel Fat.
I warmed up for them.
Mike Descala, he was like the guy in Ultrabeat who were like the biggest trance movement in the early 2000s. These guys are on Radio 1. This music's widely available. So for me to do it when I'm playing like 140 BPM raw techno, I thought was crazy. But don't get me wrong, there might be some people who have just bought it because of the hype. But I mean, they're still going to have this experience. They're going to leave the club with that experience. Like,
you might change what their perception of a club is.
Definitely. So it's definitely good either way. Even if the harder techno isn't for them, they might grow into it, but it still gives them a good taste of what it's all about. But
so rounding things up, what would you say are best advice for like younger up and coming DJs and producers?
Just trust your vision, be patient. Like, nothing happens overnight. People think as soon as they put their first mix online, they can go and play the Galvanizer, or they can go and play Sub Club. It takes probably 5 years to find your sound. And I mean, there's a lot of time that goes into it. Just be patient. Study your sound as well. That's the best advice I could probably give. Like, I never watched a video. I never even sat down with him. I was determined to learn it myself. And like, you can get so far by doing it yourself, but you always hit a block where like, fuck, I can't get to the next levels but see, once you start learning basic stuff, it just all starts making sense. So study your sound, be patient, and trust your vision.
And one last thing as well, a lot of people ask us is, you know, when you're digging for tracks, what's your process? We always ask, like, you know, my process is I used to listen to mixes, and I kind of my favourite artists and get tracks from them, and then maybe kind of go into the wormhole. But now I kind of look at more back catalogues and really try and. Yeah, I'm quite a music snob. I really want to find the tracks myself.
No, definitely.
How do you do it?
Both, to be fair, yeah. But I like if I'm going on Beatport, I'll go to a label that I really like or a DJ I really like, and I'll go to, instead of going newest to oldest, I'll go oldest to newest, and I'll dig through the tracks from late 90s.
The oldest stuff's best, I think.
And then I would try and find them, and then I'd also try and follow artists and label that are not really that people don't know about yet.
Yeah.
And then just try and find out what other labels they've released on, check them out, who have they released with, check their guys out, and then.
It's a buzz, isn't it?
Like, definitely. See when you find a track yourself and you play it, and then maybe 6 months down the line you'll see a video going viral, like a DJ you like playing it. Yeah. You're like, fucking hell. That actually happened at it was a track, BK Revolution, and I'd played that at the first Open to close, and then I closed the Galvanizer with it. And I can remember like 3 months after that there was a video of Emily Lenz playing it, and it had like fucking 10,000 shares, and just like, and it was quite no, but I don't think she's seen it because of me. It was just timing, but it's good just to have a track.
And do you play vinyl at all?
I've never played in a club vinyl, but I've got vinyl. But it's just because I've got so much. Like, I like playing longer sets, so it's like impossible to travel with kind of 6 hours worth of music.
Yeah.
And,
is it something a lot of techno DJs do, or is it? I mean, it's
old school DJs will do it in their hometown. Like if you're from like fucking Frankfurt, maybe you'd go and play at the old Cocoon Club and you would do it. Or if you stay in Berlin, you'll maybe go and play a 6 hour set in Bergen. But the first time I was in Bergen, DVS1 played 18 hours in vinyl, and he played 10 hours in Bergen main room, and then 8 hours in Panorama. So like 2 totally different types of sets.
Fucking hell.
And I can remember I met him at DC10, and I was speaking to him, and I was like, "How the fuck did you possibly get 18 hours of vinyl in there?" And he said he said 3 days before the event, they spent a full day with van loads, bringing them in crates.
Fuck.
And then so even to have 18 hours worth of good vinyl, like it was like the music he was playing, I reckon in the 18 hours I heard, I only knew 4 tracks.
Oh, really? And that's what you want though as a punter.
Like, it's like music for the 90s that you probably were vinyl only released, that were never released digitally.
Never heard of.
There's probably a DJ that's retired now, or possibly even dead now. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's crazy. It's like music that's just not available, and it's like that's what defines these people as artists, and it's just like it was crazy, man.
Brilliant, man.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you
on. Cheers for having us on.
Okay.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate.